Identity, identity, identity. That is what I need you to focus on. This is your homework assignment, okay? This is an impromptu episode that I am providing for you all because I am noticing that there's a current issue with investors and the market, okay? I'm your host, Dr. Jovin Lezeau. I am your finance mentor, your money mentor, and I'm here to guide you, okay? I can't tell you what to do. I'm not a certified financial planner. I can't tell you exactly what to do with your money, but I'm here to guide you. I'm here to give you my insights. I'm here to give you what I'm doing, and you can kind of use that to formulate your own thoughts, your own thesis, and make some active decisions, okay? And one of the things I'm going to assign to all of you is to create an identity. By the end of this week, I need you to have an identity. The reason being is because without an identity, you will not be able to identify what type of investor you are. One of the things I learned about myself, and of course it didn't come the first couple of months investing, the second couple, after 3 months, it came probably after about a year or two of investing. I learned that I am a contrarian investor. So what does that mean? When I look at investing types, there's really only two types. I don't care. Some people say dividend investor, dividend growth, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. There's really only two types of investors. There is a momentum investor and there is a value investor. And underneath both of those is an umbrella of different types of investors. But it all starts from there. That's the original tree. You know how a tree has branches and leaves and everything comes from the tree, okay? So there's really only two trees. You're either a momentum investor, which means right now, if you're a momentum investor, you are probably looking at the stocks that are ripping, right? You're looking at Chevron, ExxonMobil. You're probably looking at Walmart. You're probably looking at SanDisk. You're probably looking at Micron, Seagate. These are stocks that are just moving incredible this year. GE Vernova, Caterpillar. Those are some names right there that I am giving you that are in momentum. But there's also stocks that are not. There are also stocks that are a tad bit different. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is, and there is also a different type of investor, one that doesn't necessarily follow the crowd, one that is okay with not being in the hot stock, one that is okay with missing out on the new hot thing, which is a value investor. And usually value investors are contrarians, which is what I would describe myself as. I love to buy the companies that nobody is thinking about, but I believe are extremely undervalued. So to give an example, right now, everybody is trashing the software sector when it comes to AI. They have a horrible rep. This is like the lowest level it's been since 2022, I believe. IGV is the stock ticker. You can look at it. And it's the lowest it's ever been. To me, if I believe that this software tech is going to be enhanced by AI and AI will not replace it, then to me, that's a buy signal. This is the lowest it's been since 2022. Heck yeah, I'm going to buy it. But to some, it's, AI is going to wipe it out. It's not good, blah, blah, blah. If that's what you believe, then of course, don't invest in that. But if you don't have that type of narrative, which I don't, and I personally bought a couple shares of a company, which I will not share on this episode. I'll share it on an upcoming episode. I'm going to have an episode of probably 5 stocks to buy, 5 stocks that I bought, or if I haven't bought, we'll be buying very soon. Trust me. With that being said, I understand I'm a value investor. So what does that mean? That means that when people are trashing a stock that I believe is valuable, but the price doesn't match the value, that's when I want to get into the company. So I'm going to give a great example. Last year, one of the best investing moves I made last year was buying a stock called Google. All right. I bought 65 shares of Google last year. And while looking at Google, what's crazy about it is that all I ever heard on CNBC, on Yahoo Finance, on all these TV shows was about how Google's dead, AI is coming for it, ChatGPT, Claude, all of these things. They're so much better. Google's going to run out of business. Nobody's going to search things anymore. And I said to myself, how does that make any sense? Because Google also has an AI department. Google knows everything we want to watch. All right. Google is the number one, I repeat, the number one platform for eyeballs. What I mean by that is out of YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Disney, etc., Warner Bros. Nobody has more eyeballs than YouTube. Nobody knows more of what you like to watch than YouTube. Nobody knows more of what you want to search and look into than Google. Nobody knows more about your emails and the things that you're sending people than Google. They have access to all of your information. How in the world would the company with the most information is not going to put out a good and effective AI product? That made no sense to me. So I told myself, you know what? If Google comes down to 180, I'll buy it. And I bought 20 shares at 180. I said, you know what? If it keeps going down and it comes down to 165, I'm going to buy it there too. And lo and behold, it came down to 165. All right, awesome. And I told myself, you know what? If it comes down under 150, I'm going to buy another 20 shares. And I think it came down to 148. And I got me another 20 shares. And then somewhere between 150 and 180, I believe I bought another 5 shares. And I bought 65 shares of Google. And lo and behold, I was right. Google skyrocketed from $140.53 all the way up to $349. My goodness. My goodness. So let's just do the math on that, right? Let's say I bought 65 shares. So let's just say 180 minus 349, $169 difference. Let's just say I bought all 65 shares at 180. I made 11 grand within a year, just pressing a button called buy and being able to press another button called sell. And mind you, I technically made more money because I bought shares at 148 and also at 165 at a deeper discount. I was a contrarian. I was being a value investor. That is what matters. That is where we should be focusing our attention if you identify as a value investor. So what does that mean? The reason why I'm stressing this point, I want to give this impromptu episode to you all, is because I'm noticing a lot of people are focused on the wrong things. They're focused on missing out. Oh no, I'm missing out, blah, blah, blah. No. Bitcoin was running to 120, 125,000. Everybody was scared and was buying Bitcoin. If you ride momentum, while it's happening, you could get burned. And you see Bitcoin go from 125,000 all the way to 63,000 the other day. I think currently it's at 69 or 70,000. I'm a value investor. If you are interested in working with us, we are value investors. We're going to teach you how to find good companies at valuable prices for you to be able to execute on that. So for me, I bought Bitcoin when it came back down to 80,000. I'm not going to chase it at 120. Come on now. I bought some at 80,000. I didn't have any capital in the account to buy it when it came down to the 60s. I currently have some more capital in that account, but I see it at 69, but I think it might come down 59,000 to 60,000, somewhere in that range. I see it could possibly come back down, so I'll wait. I'll buy more when it does, and if it doesn't, then I'm wrong. But either way, I'm not going to overpay for something just to ride the momentum. My whole philosophy is buy the companies that are great companies at discounted prices, and then when the narrative changes on those companies, you ride that wave up. I did that with NVIDIA. I did that with Broadcom. I'm currently doing that now with software. I'm currently doing that right now with another big name company, which once again, if you stay tuned to one of my upcoming episodes, I will reveal which companies I've been buying and I believe you want to be a part of to jump on the next wave. I mentioned crypto earlier today. That's a sneak peek. So that is what I want us to do. That is your homework assignment. You have until Sunday. I need you to identify, am I a value investor or a momentum investor? So if you are a momentum investor, you have to put in some stop losses. You can ride the wave. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But if you are a value investor, you should be happy, like elated, especially if you wanted to get into tech stocks like a Microsoft, a Apple, Micron, Oracle, things like that, for how low they are right now, how discounted they are. You should be ecstatic, really, really happy about that. Because that means the moment to buy is near, or the moment to buy is now. It all comes down to, who are you? Are you a value investor or a momentum investor? And if you're a momentum investor, I can't give away the secrets now because I do have some paid clients, and I did tell them I will meet with them first and share my insight with them first before I share it publicly. But eventually, probably within the next month, I will share my market insights for the year. But there is a shift that's coming, and you're not too late for certain companies. Caterpillar, you missed the boat. GE Vernova, you probably missed the boat. There are some other companies that you have not missed the boat, and you can jump on and ride that momentum to the upside. Or you could just let the momentum companies do what they do and just let the companies that you've been wanting to add to your buy and hold portfolio come on down. Hey, Amazon, come on down to my price point. Hey, Meta, come on down to my price point so I can buy more. Come on down. Because I understand that right now, these companies are not fundamentally broken. This is not a fundamentally broken issue, right? Which actually brings me to a great point. When it comes to the stock market, you need to identify, is it a fundamental issue with that stock? If the stock is not broken, then is it a sector issue where that sector is not doing well? Right now, software companies are not doing well. So for some reason, cybersecurity companies are getting hit. They're lumped in with software, which makes no sense to me why they are down. They have nothing to do with what some of these software companies, they have nothing to do with Adobe. We need cybersecurity. We cannot replace that. AI is not going to replace cybersecurity. I promise you that. We need cybersecurity. So it makes no sense for them to be gone, or no sense for them to be as low as they are right now. However, they're lumped into the software sector, so they're down. So it's not fundamentally broken. So this could be a great buying opportunity, which is what we want for stocks if we are a value investor. So we always want to know, is that company fundamentally broken? Is that sector being attacked right now, which software is? So you're going to see discounted opportunities in software. Or is it some type of political issue going on? Tariffs. We saw how tariffs made the market go down like 19% last year. Is there a war going on? We saw what happened earlier this year with Venezuela. Did they go up or down? Oh, trust me, them things went up. Is there something political going on? Is there something fundamentally wrong with the company? Or is there something wrong with that sector? Is that sector being attacked? Those are 3 questions you always kind of got to ask yourself to assess the market and assess a company. And if it's not fundamentally broken, to me, that always screams an opportunity to buy. If you are a value investor, which I am. So once again, I want you guys to take some time this week. All right, this is your homework assignment. By Sunday, I need you all to decide, am I a value investor Or am I a momentum investor? And there's no wrong answer. But once you can identify who you are, then you can start identifying the type of companies you need to add to your portfolio. Because the difference between a value and a momentum investor would be, right now, let's say I'm a value investor. So I'm looking at companies that are down right now. Software is down, cybersecurity is down. I'm looking at those companies. If they're at price points, I'm going to buy and I'm just going to hold them. Now, if I am a momentum investor, the stocks that I own, once they get into profit, I'm going to sell them. I'm going to reallocate that profit into the next sector that I believe would be hot. For example, Chevron would have been one of the ones I would have done prior to the US taking Venezuela. That would have been an example. We're seeing another one that I've been screaming about. I've mentioned it before on one of the companies that I would like to own 500 shares of is Caterpillar. They were a big supporter of the Trump administration. Trump keeps talking about how he wants to build. And what do we need in order to build? Tools and equipment. And who's going to provide that for us? Is it going to come out of thin air? Or is it going to come from companies like Caterpillar and or John Deere? However, one of them were big advocates of the Trump administration. Follow the money. I'm going to go with Caterpillar. That literally was all I had to do deciding between Caterpillar and John Deere. Both great companies, but one of them was a bit more supportive of an administration who will reward you for supporting them. Follow the money. Identity. Momentum would be to put the money into Caterpillar. Put the money. We just heard Trump mention something about the Dow Jones, I believe, going to 100,000. I believe he said, doubling from where it's at. Homework assignment. Go look at the Dow Jones and figure out who are the top 10 companies. Or actually, go look at the Dow Jones, figure out who are the top 25 companies within the Dow Jones. Figure out which one of them have been contributing to the Trump administration and which one of them fit along with the current momentum theme of AI infrastructure, of construction. What follows the theme that is currently going on? Energy is a big thing. Which one of them are involved in that? Find those companies. Those are the clues if you're a momentum investor to go ahead and jump in. And I gave you a clue. If you're a value investor, you got to look at software. There's an opportunity that's screaming buy on both sides. But depending on who you are, that's which side of the fence you should be investing. And here's the cool thing about it. I have friends who are momentum investors and they make great money. I have friends who are value investors and they make great money. There's no wrong answer. The only wrong answer is you trying to be somebody that you're not. And that's what we really try to teach here and preach. As your mentor, I need you to lock in on who are you and how can you maximize what you're doing. Everybody's life is different. I might make more money than the person that's listening to this. So you may not be able to invest as much money as I do. If you're listening to this, you might have more responsibilities. You might be married with multiple kids. Maybe your wife is a stay-at-home wife, or maybe your husband's a stay-at-home husband. So you cannot allocate as much capital as I can to the stock market. You cannot do the same things that I do. But that doesn't mean you can't still make money. That doesn't mean you can't still get rich. That doesn't mean you can't still be wealthy. The stock market is designed for you to build an insurmountable amount of wealth. But in order for you to do that, you first have to identify who you are. And if you are struggling with determining your identity, please feel free to reach out to us. capsulrxpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram, YouTube @new_capsulrxpodcast. Shoot me a DM. Find me on LinkedIn. Message me there. I'm not hard to find. Shoot me an email. We'll connect. We'll get you set up. We'll help you identify who you are. We'll ask the right questions to have your mind start stimulating and identifying who you are as an investor. And then from there, I will be able to give you stocks and prices to start jumping in and start executing so you can start making money. So that's what this is all about. I want all of us to be financially free. I want us all to be rich. I want us all to be wealthy. I do not have to be doing this on a Tuesday afternoon. Trust me, I wanted to go to the movies, but I said, you know what? Nah, I got to sit down and record this content. Because I feel I have an obligation and a duty to impact lives. So if you're listening to this, this is an opportunity for me to impact your life for the better. For us to help you find the value within yourself to be the best investor you can be. To be the best money manager that you can be. So the time is now. I'm telling you, we got about a 5 to 8 year period to really, really maximize our gains in the stock market. 5 to 8 years. And then after that, it's going to go kapoots. We'll probably have a 3 to 4 year dead period. And it's going to be rough for some of y'all. Because by the time you're ready, it's going to be way too late. So the time is now. That's why I said you have until Sunday. That's why I'm doing an impromptu episode. I'm supposed to be dropping on Fridays. We're dropping on Wednesday. I'm serious about this. I see what's coming, and I want us all to be prepared because you deserve to be rich. You do deserve to be wealthy, and you deserve to be financially free. So if you're struggling with your identity, you already know, reach out to us, capsulrxpodcast@gmail.com, @new_capsulrxpodcast on Instagram, on YouTube. I'm not hard to find. You can find me personally on LinkedIn. Shoot me a message. Let's connect. Let's help you identify who you are as an investor, a value investor or a momentum investor. And once we identify that, then we start going to go make the money that can change your lives. There's a reason I am so passionate about the stock market. I can't tell you how much money I have. I honestly don't know off the top of my head, but I promise you I probably got more than $300,000 in the market. This year will mark 5 years of working as a licensed pharmacist. However, I did do a 1-year residency. So that means I was underpaid for a full year. So in all actuality, I didn't start making 6 figures until 2023, I believe. Yeah, last year was my 3rd year making 6 figures. So you can't tell me it's not possible to build a ridiculous amount of wealth from the stock market because I'm living proof. And I didn't always invest when I had 6 figures. Most of the money I made while I was actually in residency. Because I bought stocks when they were on an extreme discount because of COVID. And then I just rode the wave up because I did it before the momentum came in. That's what a value investor is. It's buying the things that are supposed to be next up. Buying the things that are heavily discounted. Or you could be a momentum trader. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I have found I've made more money being a value investor than being a momentum investor. And I sleep better at night. So I prefer that. So once again, thank y'all for listening. We greatly appreciate it. If you want the opportunity to start investing in yourself, then I encourage you to reach out to us, capsulrxpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram and at YouTube, LinkedIn, we're everywhere. Okay, we're not hard to find @new_capsulrxpodcast. Thank you guys for listening. And remember, we got about a 5 to 8 year time period to really maximize these gains. The longer you wait, the poorer you'll be. The choice is yours.